Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Enlightenment, the daily lesson exercises related to the Course in Miracles, the daily lessons. And so how's it going? This is day 26, I think already. Wow, that's amazing. We already did 26 lessons this year on a daily basis, having momentary experiences of, there's an alternative. There's a real world. I can actually enter into it. It is right next to this world. I can't believe it. That is given to me within the 26 days of the Course in Miracles of this year. So we continue with our exercise and since we were watching on Wednesdays, we watched the Master Teacher video with the specific lessons. I want to use parts of that. I like some expressions of Master Teacher. I thought that was a great idea. Since he talked, the way he talks is like quantum science anyway. So that is really wonderful. And so we use some expressions from him in this episode too, from the video that we're going to watch on Wednesday. Since some of the expressions are so quantum science related, so it's like such a stretch or such an expansion of mind that is taking place, such an opening that is taking place that can help you to come into a deeper experience of yourself and literally give you insight of what the Course in Miracles is, of what is actually occurring in your experience of yourself. Basically, everything we do in the meetings that we have is related to it. You see that it's like it's an integrated bunch of meetings, but very specific, but all related to the same. Going deeper into what is given, making it more your own experience, bringing you back to what it truly says about you. And learning to be open to receive that and to listen to it. And that's not only like a nice thing to do, but it's really bringing you to the truth of who you are, which is the only thing that we do this for, so to speak, to come into a deep experience of the truth of who you are, having that conscious in your awareness. So everything is helping with that. Now, there seems to be a tremendous lot of slides that I work through in this 1 hour. And don't be concerned about that either. As like I just use it instead of the book. I printed every little linear, like every little paragraph. I put it on a slide, but just to, in fact, focus the attention on specific areas of the text or specific lessons. And that's a tiny interval of time. Tiny interval. Well, we'll see what that means in a moment. So I made it pretty big, even though it's a tiny interval. But that's because we stand still with this tiny interval of occurrence in which time was made, a tiny tick of time in which the first mistake was made. Held also the correction of it. So it was a tiny interval of time, but we focused tremendous attention on it. That's why I made it big. So we step into that right away. This is from chapter 26, the transition, as an inspiration for the lessons. To you who still believe you live in time, and know not it is gone, right? You live in time, right? Well, you don't know yet that it's already gone. That's what this says. So I continue. The Holy Spirit still guides you through the infinitely small and senseless maze, like this labyrinth that you find yourself in, you still perceive in time, though it has long since gone. Now this is on top of each other, illusory. The illusion that you see, the illusion to get out of it, and the illusion of transitioning into a different world. All of that is illusion. So we will come to that. So this is, yeah, as quantum as it can be. To you who still believe you live in time and know not that it is gone, the Holy Spirit still guides you through the infinitely small and senseless maze you still perceive in time, though it has long since gone. You think you live in what is past. Each thing you look upon, you saw but for an instant, long ago, before its unreality gave way to truth. Not one illusion still remains unanswered in your mind. Uncertainty was brought to certainty so long ago that it is hard indeed to hold it to your heart, as if it were before you still. Well, I thought it was a great start. Tiny tick of time. It's unbelievable. You perceive something which is illusory. You still think that that time as such exists, and that this world exists, because this world is based on time. It's literally the manifestation of a moment that has been gone by long ago. So that's why everything starts to make sense if you realize this. Like we see this in lesson 7, of course. Like that's why you only see meaningless. Yeah, you only think meaningless thoughts. They have to do with something that's already gone. That's why you see meaningless things. That's why this, that's why that. That's why you're upset, because you see something that's not there. Why is that? Because this is already over. You just give it value, and that's why you make it real, and you really think it makes sense, and you really think there's meaning to it. So that doesn't... Apparently that doesn't just say stop being a reality to you. It just doesn't stop right away. So it needs miracle after miracle after miracle. But also it needs to be reminded that this is over and over and over again. It's unbelievable. And there you go, you make it real again, and you make it real again, like there's no way of stopping you doing so. How interesting is that as a phenomena that keeps you in the chain, in the loop of illusion. So you must really want it. You want to keep it. So this is, to me, totally interesting. Like I said, this is an illusory life existence that you go through that has temporary meaning to you until you see its meaninglessness. Then it's gone. And you recognize, oh my God, it's already over. It's a long time over. It's so gone and over, you can't believe it. So you cannot believe that. You cannot exercise that until you start to have different experiences of something that is really there, that brings you back to your total origin of self. Like it needs to be like an intense feeling of something that's much more reliable than the fleeting images that you see now. So that's A Course in Miracles. You come to these direct experiences of something that is reliable. The rest is not reliable because it's already gone, it's over. You look for certainty where it cannot be found. We say this like 1,000,000 times. But the reason for that is that it's really gone. So it cannot give you any meaning, it cannot give you any fulfillment. That's not the nature of it. It simply wasn't made for that. It was only just this tiny little instant in which a question was asked, like, how would it be to be without God? Well, there it is. And it was immediately corrected, because you're not separate. Obviously not. Otherwise, why would you do a mind training? Now, that's very indirect, like that's very paradoxical when I say that. You're doing a mind training to discover what you did to yourself. See how crazy that is, in fact, or like interesting at least. Like it's interesting to see that you really want to do this so badly, and at the same time you don't want it so badly, because otherwise you would immediately step into it. That's why I'm talking mostly always also about the resistance to receive this. Obviously, you don't want to receive this, otherwise you wouldn't need a mind training. So, here's the realization. God loves you totally, and you never were separate. Now, if you could hear that in your whole beingness, you wouldn't need a mind training. So, nothing to blame, no one to blame. We would just continue with our meetings and exercises and daily lessons. But see, that's very valuable, but also very temporary to do that. The exercises of A Course in Miracles, the daily lessons. It's very temporal. It might end today. If you realize what it says, it ends today. In fact, you realize that you're home in heaven and nothing ever occurred. So that's what I mean with temporal. Now this is a speed up of time. Now that's another aspect. The speed up of time makes it that you cannot hold on to anything. So that means where I give value to yesterday, I cannot do that any longer because I recognize this is over. I need to let go of this idea. And that's now here's the next moment. I'm open. I'm receiving. I'm in meditation, you could say. Like I'm in a state of meditation. I'm right here. I don't know anything here. Like I'm in my total certainty of not knowing anything. Being open to whatever comes to me to receive that. So that's the mind training. So the speeding up of time I was talking about. Like the speeding up of time is then that you come to the end of time quicker and quicker and quicker. You realize, oh my God, this is over. I don't want anything of it. If I stop wanting things from space and time, it starts to be over more and more and more. So that means I come to the end of time, where suddenly like the real world can open up to me. I can see beyond my senses, beyond my perception. And that in itself is an opening to a deep experience of myself, to realize how much like I'm totally connected. I'm totally connected to every aspect of creation. And that in itself is a homecoming for me. I feel so much at home, like I never found any place in the world where I felt more at home as within myself at the end of time. And in this comfort, this real comfort that is given me. So we continue with another paragraph of this great chapter 26, the transition. The tiny instant you would keep and make eternal. Yeah, we're talking about the tiny instant you would keep and make eternal, passed away in heaven too soon for anything to notice it had come. What disappeared too quickly to affect the simple knowledge of the Son of God can hardly still be there. For you to choose to be your teacher, only in the past, an ancient past, too short to make a world in answer to creation, did this world appear to rise. Now, this is what I mean, quantum enlightenment here. The tiny instant you would keep and make eternal. You wanted to hold on to it, but it passed away too quick in heaven for anything to notice it had gone. It isn't even noticed it had come. There was not much time. There was not enough time to make for anything to notice it had come. So what disappeared too quickly to affect the simple knowledge of the Son of God can hardly still be there, right? For you to choose to be your teacher. Like, why would you want time to be your teacher? Fear to be your teacher. The past to be your teacher. What do you think you're going to learn from the past? Except that it's over. What disappeared too quickly to affect the simple knowledge of the Son of God can hardly still be there. For you to choose to be your teacher, only in the past, an ancient past too short to make a world in answer to creation, did this world appear to rise. So it's like, yeah, it's like a dummy. It's a dummy. It looks like something. It's like a test model. It's a dummy. It wasn't finished. Well, it wasn't finished at all. So it was just put there, so to speak, in your imagination. It was put there as a sketch, nothing more than a sketch. And now you want everything in the sketch to completely be fluent and integrated, while it is like a mosaic with all kinds of missing pieces, with no real structure at all, just one chaotic mosaic. That's what the world is. Not even anything to look at, not even anything to really see, not anything that really could mean something to you, just a collection of random parts. It never works. And you can have an imagining that it works perfectly, but if you literally if the light of heaven shines on it, nothing will stay with it. Nothing will. You don't want to keep any of it. This is what I mean. It's like it will not stay. It will not be your wish to stay there. If you recognize the integrity and totality of heaven, you don't want this world. It becomes very obvious that you won't even think about it. And this is how you escape this world too, by recognizing it is over. It was just too short for anything to be noticed. It was nothing. It was just like a little of nothing. So very long ago, for such a tiny interval of time, that not one note in heaven's song was missed, yet in each unforgiving act or thought, in every judgment and in all belief in sin, is that one instant still called back, as if it would be made again in time. You keep an ancient memory before your eyes, and he who lives in memories alone is unaware of where he is. See, this is so incredible to read this so very long ago, for such a tiny interval of time, that not one note in heaven's song was missed. Yet in each unforgiving act or thought, in every judgment and in all belief in sin, is this one instant still called back, as if it could be made again in time. You keep an ancient memory before your eyes, and he who lives in memories alone is unaware of where he is. So this is what we're dealing with. Like, it's so short, it took place so short, like the shortest moment that you could possibly imagine, and then 10 times shorter than that. Like, it didn't happen. It really didn't happen. So this is real quantum enlightenment in that sense. So the acceptance, like I said, the acceptance can come to you just like that. If you start to see this, what actually occurred, and then it's not so difficult to allow a new experience to come to you. Of course you have all the help, because there's no power here. There's nothing that really can hold you here. So it's inevitable that you're going to make that step. It is just, we practice this, and then the miracle will happen. You can be sure of that, of course. I mean, absolutely. So the lessons that we're going to take a look at, we start with 20, as you could just see. It's like we start with 20, and let's participate in this together. If you feel like doing that, open your microphone and you can start reading a lesson.
Ce que je vois est une forme de vengeance. Le monde que je vois n'est guère la représentation de pensées aimantes. C'est une image d'attaque contre tout, partout. C'est tout sauf le reflet de l'amour de Dieu et de l'amour de son Fils. Ce sont mes propres pensées d'attaque qui font surgir cette image. Mes pensées aimantes me sauvent de cette perception du monde et donneront la paix que Dieu avait l'intention que j'ai.
I'm determined to see things differently. What I see now are signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved Son. The very fact that I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his Son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth of me, rather than those which show me an illusion of myself.
What I see is a form of vengeance. The world I see is hardly a representation of living thoughts. It is a picture of attack on everything by everything. It is anything but a reflection of the love of God and the love of his Son. It is my own attack thoughts that give rise to this picture. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me peace God intended me to have.
I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. Herein lies salvation, and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, I could not see a world of attack. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace and safety and joy. And it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now.
Je ne perçois pas mon propre intérêt. Comment pourrais-je reconnaître ce qu'est mon propre intérêt quand je ne connais pas qui je suis? Ce que je pense être mon intérêt ne ferait que me lier davantage au monde des illusions. Je suis désireux de suivre le guide que Dieu m'a donné pour découvrir ce qu'est mon propre intérêt, en reconnaissant que je ne peux pas le percevoir par moi-même.
I do not know what anything is for. To me, the purpose of everything is to prove that my illusions about myself are real. It is for this purpose that I attempt to use everyone and everything. It is for this that I believe the world is for. Therefore, I do not recognize its real purpose. The purpose I've given the world has led to a frightening picture of it. Let me open my mind to the world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it.
Mes pensées d'attaque attaquent mon invulnérabilité. Comment puis-je connaître qui je suis quand je me vois moi-même constamment attaquée? La douleur, la maladie, la perte, l'âge et la mort semblent me menacer. Tous mes espoirs, mes souhaits et mes plans paraissent être à la merci d'un monde que je ne peux contrôler. Or, la sécurité parfaite et le plein épanouissement sont mon héritage. J'ai essayé de donner mon héritage en échange du monde que je vois. Mais Dieu a sauvegardé mon héritage pour moi. Mes propres pensées réelles m'enseigneront ce qu'il est.
Like you could see, we start now with the expressions of Master Teacher. I just want to announce that so that you know where it's coming from, but it's obvious. In the moments you see the picture too. But I like these expressions that he gives, like I shared the transcript of the video that we're going to watch on Wednesday. I shared it in the chat, and this is like there's some interesting experience if you start reading the transcript, because you hear things in the video, but then when you read it, it's still a different way in which it comes to you, and that's why I want to use it today too in this meeting, because it gives you time to let this sink in. So that's what we're going to do with what is given in a moment. So letting that sink in is also like allowing it to let it come to its fullest. You could say what is being shared is coming from a place where, where the totality is speaking to you. And that means it is opening you. It's not just sharing something about the lessons or so, just like we now did. It's like, no, this is an instant revelation. If you want that to be, it's an instant revelation. It opens something in your mind in which you're able to receive the light that is given in this. And that you need, like I said that in the beginning too, is like you need different experiences to make this step into the totality of your being. And that is completely in contradiction with the human way of living, you could say. You avoid like steps, blind steps. You always try to control, you try to manage, you try to make it work, or try to do it your way, so you think you know how to do this, or how to keep everything balanced in a certain sense. And this is not like that. This is literally, you go completely off balance. As you know yourself, you're going to completely go off balance, because balance would be your control of it. And that brought you here, that brought you into this, basically into this devastation. If you really see what you've made of your world, of what you've made of yourself in this world, if you really take a good look at that, then you see what you have done to yourself. Not that that had any effect in reality, but it does have effect on you on a daily basis, as long as you keep believing this. This is what I mean. Like if you keep believing your descriptions of yourself, or that you know what you are within the confines of human definition, then that needs to break. That needs to die in that sense. That needs to break. That needs to go. It needs to be opened, so that this total experience of reality can come to you, in which you recognize yourself perfectly without any doing or balancing or controlling on your part. So that is a huge step. That's a huge, change, because you're so used to balancing everything out, to make it comfortable, to make it doable, to make it not too fearful, not to do this. And here is something that literally sneaks in through the back door, you could say. That sneaks into your mind, that literally starts to enlighten you. But by you, in fact, supporting that, or getting out of the way of, you can say, like, by you being willing to lose control, that suddenly can open up massively, like incredibly, just by your decision. I want to hear what this says. No matter what happens, I'm determined to see. Like, above all else, I want to see. That means above all else, there's no thing that I want to hold on to. I want to completely lose the balance that I've created to keep everything under control. So you want to lose that mechanism of control. So this is really helpful, and you'll see. Okay, so the simple truth of the matter is, all human conditions in objective time are expressing a rejection of the entirety of their reality. And it's based very simply on the fact that they can't find themselves the provision that would show them a complete alternative, a new centering in space-time that I'm offering you right now. So all human condition in objective time, the way that you perceive this world with objects and you as a body, are expressing the rejection of the entirety of their reality, like you're completely in denial of what truth is. and you want that, you have established that as a self, as a self-made self. It is based very simply on the fact that they can't find themselves the provision that would show them a complete alternative. So literally you're unable to find the exit out of the prison that you have created. And that's another way of saying it. Like you made an image of yourself, but you actually don't like what you made because it is not working. And it needs a lot of maintenance to keep it in place. And you're sick and tired of that. So they can't find within themselves the provision that would show them a complete alternative, centering in space-time that I'm offering you right now. So the complete alternative is offered right here and right now. That is not just offered to be offered. No, that is being offered to accept. And this is not visible with the eyes. So that's an interesting thing. I'll come back to that. What am I showing you now? Right here. Did you see? Can you say to me, here and now? Say, here and now. Here and now, where we're going to perform the act of an alternative. What were the requirements of this mind training? That we stay in the ready. Like, stay in your total expectancy. Stay ready. Keep your lamps filled. Have your mind trained. Yes, repeat the exercises one more time. Yes, do whatever you need to do to have it active in your mind. Your whole practice in this little 20-minute book, like with the review of the first 50 lessons, was to prepare you. As you go out into the world, to begin to say, yes, I'm operating here. I'm in the office, I'm in the kitchen, I'm on my way to work. I'm looking for something to eat. I'm in a mission. I've been rejected, I'm unhappy. Yet I know somewhere present within me is this condition, is another reality. All right? So it is like in the simplicity of the exercises that we do, the simplicity of the exercises that we're doing are tremendous because you train yourself to remember during your day, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're going, like you're living your human life. Sure, you're doing what you do. That's perfectly all right. But now here it's different. You remind yourself maybe every minute of the 20 minutes. At least when you read the 20-minute book in the morning, when you review the first 50 lessons, or a few of them, or some of them, what happens is that you become aware that there's an alternative to this where you find yourself, and that you can access that at any time. That is available to you any time. And there's no exception to it. You're not going to lose that. So this is a tremendous opening for you, this actively, this consciously, like you can do this so consciously. You can bring yourself back as much as you need that to the remembrance of the fact that there's here and now in which everything is given to you. It is a whole different world that you can enter into in every moment. Now that is really like the quantum experience. You can say like the objective, the Newtonian physics that we're used to, dropping the stone on your foot hurts. This kind of cause and effect relationship, this kind of duality, world of duality. If I turn off the light is gone. And it becomes dark. Like there's a darkness and light. There's a hungry and not hungry. There's disease and there's health. And all the opposites that we deal with in this world, right next to them stands the alternative all the time that you can access because you're actually doing the exercises in this little booklet. You remind yourself, just like we now did, like I'm only attacking myself. Oh no, this is not even happening. I've made this way. I'm realizing that I made up an image of myself that I'm trying to protect. Well, what happens if I don't do that? I want to know. I want to actively come in touch with the alternative. And I can do that as much and as often as I want. And here I am distracted again, finding myself in the world, doing things, having ideas about everything, having ideas about myself, having frustrations, having emotions where I move through, and coming into a deep sense of fear. Now here I pick up the book. It's like, okay, let's see what it says today. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. I have no private thoughts. I cannot see a private world. The mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. Now I can also call upon my real thoughts. Well, I'm going to do that right now. Which share everything with everyone. Oh, that sounds so great. So I can do that right now. So I'm staying in the ready, like I'm keeping this active in my mind. I'm not going to drift away back into conflict, into the differences that I have been perceiving. No, I'm staying alert in the truth of who I am. I'm starting to remember that more and more and more, because I want that. I want it above all else. I forget about it, but I want it above all else. So every time that I take a moment to come back to it, I remember, oh, that is so great. I'm so happy that I do this. I decide to do an exercise for 1 minute. This is always great. This is always great with, then you see that doing the exercises and, for instance, reading 1 or 50 lessons from the 20-minute book, it is like you see that everything is based on willingness. So you can come up, Jesus reminds you of, okay, this lesson, we're going to do this lesson 5 times today, maybe 2 minutes each. And then you say, okay, I'll do this 2 minutes. This is my time. I set my alarm and yeah, here we go. So I do this for 2 minutes. I do the exercise for 2 minutes. But then when I've started the exercise, I actually start to feel quiet and peaceful and feel really good about it. I'm so happy that I started this. What do? I prolong my session here. I prolong my moment in which I do this. Like, yeah, that feels so good. I'm gonna just extend this moment. Let's stay in this for a second, because I'm touching something real here. It is a beautiful exercise. So like first, it started with my willingness to actually do the exercise as it was appointed. And then I come into the effect, so to speak, of the effect of doing the exercise, and I extend my time in doing that. This is how it expands. So this will bring you to a total commitment to it, recognizing that you don't want anything else. And that doesn't mean that you walk around with the 20-minute book all day long, but it does mean that you stay in the active remembrance of this on a continuing basis. How do you do that? By releasing everything else. Because the exercises that we do, you recognize this too. If you really read the lessons and see what it actually says, then you see that it only brings you to the point of release. And it doesn't go further than that. So it's like, here, this is all you need to do. Above all else I want to see. It doesn't say like, now I'm going to see. No, above all else I want to see. And this is your part. You're expressing your willingness to do this. That's all. The rest is going to be given. You don't have to make this, which is really essential. You have made your world. You have made yourself imprisoned in your world. Now this is something else. This is a free expression of creative love energy that you recognize as you come into that experience. You recognize yourself to be that. So you don't have to make that. You only have to say, above all else I want to see and actually mean it in terms of releasing every other idea. That is the thing that happens. Now I'm open to receive that. What happens? I receive it. It is given to me. So that's good to know. So like I said, there's a mechanism behind this. Everything in the lessons is always to bring you to the place where it can occur. From that moment on, it's not up to you any longer, and it can be given to you. That is the beauty of this. So you only have to stay ready, to bring that word back in. You only have to stay in your ready. That's all, in your expectancy. You don't have to make it up. You don't have to connect with God. No, you stay in your ready, and God connects with you. That God, He knows His way to you. It says that somewhere in the Course too, like He knows His way to you. Don't worry. No, you only have to be ready. You stay in your alertness and your expectancy. The bride and the groom can come in a moment. Keep your lamp filled. To give a biblical reference to that. Okay, so here you see the lesson of today. So we're going through this. Why not a bit of music in the background? My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. It is surely obvious that if you can attack, if you can be attacked, you're not invulnerable. You see attack as a real threat. And that is because you believe that you can really attack. Otherwise it would not be visible to you. You could not see that. And what would have effects through you must also have effects on you. It is this law that will ultimately save you. But you are misusing it now. You must therefore learn how it can be used for your own best interest, rather than against them. And you don't know how to do that. Because your attack thoughts will be projected, you will fear attack. And if you fear attack, you must believe that you are not invulnerable. Attack thoughts therefore make you vulnerable in your own mind, which is where the attack thoughts are. Attack thoughts and invulnerability cannot be accepted together. They contradict each other. So the idea for today introduces the thought that you always attack yourself first. If attack thoughts must entail the belief that you are vulnerable, their effect is to weaken you in your own eyes. Thus you have attacked your perception of yourself. And because you believe in them, you can no longer believe in yourself. A false image of yourself has come to take the place of what you are. Practice with today's idea will help you to understand that vulnerability or invulnerability is the result of your own thoughts. Nothing except your thoughts can attack you. Nothing except your thoughts can make you think you are vulnerable. And nothing your thoughts can prove to you this is not so. 6 practice periods are required in applying today's idea. A full 2 minutes should be attempted for each of them, although the time may be reduced to a minute or so. If the discomfort is too great. So you can reduce it to 1 minute if the discomfort is too great. It's like no pressure. We do this not to pressure you, not to squeeze you into it. No, this is, say, a practice of release, voluntary release. Do not reduce it further. Like, yeah, you should be able to do it 1 minute. You can do that. But no. The practice period should begin with repeating the idea for today. Oh yeah, what was the idea for today? My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. The practice period should begin with repeating the idea for today, then closing your eyes and reviewing the unresolved questions whose outcomes are causing you concern. The concern may take the form of depression, worry, anger, a sense of imposition, fear, foreboding, like something terrible is going to happen, or preoccupation. Any problem as yet unsettled that tends to recur in your thoughts during the day is a suitable subject. You will not be able to use very many for any one practice period because a longer time than usual should be spent with each one. So you're going to be busy with one expression for a moment. First, name the situation. I'm concerned about so-and-so. Then go over every possible outcome that has occurred to you in that connection and which has caused you concern, referring to each one quite specifically, saying, I'm afraid that this is going to happen. I'm afraid that that is going to happen. So in the situation, I'm concerned about this situation. I'm afraid that that will happen, and this will happen, and that will happen. If you are doing the exercises properly, you should have some 5 or 6 distressing possibilities available for each situation you use, and quite possibly more. So this is what you have done. You can literally imagine distressing possibilities easily. You're a master at it. So 5 to 6 shouldn't be a problem for you, is what Jesus says here. It is much more helpful to cover a few situations thoroughly than to touch on a large number. So just stay with one upsetting situation. As the list of anticipated outcomes for each situation continues, you will probably find some of them, especially that occur to you toward the end, less acceptable to you. Like they're going to be a bit different all the time. And they are a bit like further away from the actual terror that you are feeling. Try, however, to treat them all alike, to whatever extent you can. After you have named each outcome of which you are afraid, tell yourself, that thought is an attack upon myself. That thought is an attack upon myself. That thought is an attack upon myself. Conclude each practice period by repeating today's idea to yourself once more. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. So this is centered in you. It's like my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. So this brings it back to you. No matter what the exercise is, it's always going to be brought back to you. I see only the past. I think meaningless thoughts. I see meaningless things. So it's always brought back to you, to you, to you, to you, because you have to recognize that this starts with you. This world that you see, you're the cause of it. As you see it, you're the cause of it. This is your world. Literally crystallized ideas that are changing all the time. Reflections, you could say, reflections in this hologram of light that you're actually walking. You bump up against things and you see these reflections as facts. You really think that they tell you something about yourself. And that's where your belief has started and keeps circling around as long as you keep confirming it. So this is the alternative is always right next to it. That's so great. Now I live with that alternative. It's right here. In this situation, the alternative is right here. I practice myself. I do this practice to remind myself there's an alternative to this, no matter what it looks like. No matter what the situation looks like, there's the alternative. I don't have to make that alternative. That's why I call it just an alternative. It's not specified. No, it's going to be given to me when I release my thoughts. It's like I only have to decide that I want to see. That's all. I only have to be willing to see. That's all. I only have to do these exercises, and what can be given me in these exercises there's no part of me in that as I know myself. So it's going to reveal something new. All right, so this is really the basis of the lessons that we have been doing the last week, and we're heading forward, of course. So on Wednesday we look at the lessons, what was it, I think 26 to 35 or something, which is really great to have an overview. The overview is already given in the specific video that we're going to watch of Master Teacher. But that's what we do on Wednesday. So I hope to see you there. Thank you for everything for now. Thank you for your attention and your participation in this meeting. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you.